Hello and welcome to my channel, Bevvy with Beth. I'm Beth, and in case you didn't know, on this channel I talk all about PCOS, the symptoms, how to cope with them, and how my personal journey with PCOS is going. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below to catch my videos every week. And today we've got a slightly different, it's a vlog style kind of video because we're going to be talking about my journey having come off the pill.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful.
It has been a whole week now since I stopped taking the pill. Of course, there isn't any changes to report. I haven't really noticed anything different in just 7 days. I thought I could take a minute just to explain why I decided to come off the pill and also some of the things that I'm afraid about, why I put it off for this long. The main reason that I wanted to come off of the pill is from the research that I've done, I understand that there are quite a few risks, quite a few reasons not to continue on hormonal birth control long term. And especially since I've been having this for over 10 years now, I think it's time for me to start looking for alternatives. There are many alternatives to protecting yourself from pregnancy whilst not messing up your hormones. And especially for me currently, I don't need to worry about the pregnancy side of things. So, I was only taking the pill to manage my PCOS symptoms. But I've got to a point now where I feel like I've made lifestyle changes and diet changes that I don't know if they're helping my symptoms, but I don't know if they're really balancing my hormones because the progesterone is being replaced. So am I actually at a good point or not? I don't know. And other than having regular blood tests at the doctors, the only way to know if your reproductive hormones are working correctly is if you have a period. So if I can get to a point where I'm having like that monthly report card of, okay, my hormones were working and this is what's happening, that's the only way I can really know. And that's what I want to know is, am I doing everything I can? Are there things that need to change to support myself with PCOS? The second reason, that is my weight. And more, not so much how much I'm weighing, so much as where my fat is. I have a hunch, I have a feeling that a lot of the weight that I hold in my stomach, which is literally over my ovaries, that's actually where it is, comes from having very high progesterone on a permanent basis. With the natural cycles, that weight would need to sit in this specific area. If I get to a point where my hormones are balanced and I'm having regular periods and that weight is the same, well then that's just the way my body is and I would be happy with that. But I can't be happy unless I try and see if by feeding myself a specific hormone every single day is actually changing my body's composition. And so I'm going to give that a try. My fears, however, are that the last time I didn't come off, I've stopped taking progesterone, my mental health went absolutely crazy. And I'm not sure how much of that was just like off the pill and craziness. I wasn't supporting, I didn't know I had PCOS, I wasn't supporting myself. Although my diet wasn't terrible in itself, it wasn't PCOS focused, so there was probably a lot of things I was eating that weren't helping. I'm keeping very tight tabs on my mental health. I have stopped taking the pill, but I still have three or 4 months worth. I will start taking again if my mental health gets too bad. Now is the time to make the experiment. I'm also not sure, I do not have a plan for avoiding pregnancy when that could be an issue. Not having a pregnancy prevention plan is not a good enough reason to put off my current plan, because it's not an issue right now, but it is something that I'm going to have to work out, hopefully, maybe at a later date. And I'm really looking forward to finding out and knowing if I've got my hormones in balance and really seeing the results of that. So I'm going to be sharing this journey with you. Obviously, this is week 1. I'm going to do weekly updates all in a video in a few months' time when I can, give you some results of what's been happening. And I'll see you in a week. So I just thought I'd pop in here quickly. I've just finished filming a video and do a little update because it has now been a month, an entire month, a whole full 4 weeks since I came off the pill. And although I'm not going to update you until things really change, obviously this first month there has been a few changes. So the first thing that definitely happened, which obviously had me on edge for a while, but I stuck it out, was my anxiety. It went through the roof. Now, the reason that I stuck it out is because I'm not sure how much of this is actually down to me coming off of the pill and how much of it is because the world is on fire and it's a bit of a scary time to be living. So I can't tell. The one thing I would say is that my meditation practices weren't doing the same. I needed to find a new app, I think, which did help quite a bit. And I also invested in some CBD oil because it was getting pretty bad to the point where I wasn't sleeping, which of course becomes a perpetual cycle of not sleeping, being more stressed at work because I was tired, not having focus during the evenings to get things done, which meant things like housework and cooking food and things became very difficult. And it was getting... But what I needed was to be able to sleep in order to feel like I could even begin to tackle this situation. So I got the CBD oil and I take that before bed and it's a miracle. Why wasn't I taking this sooner? But yes, it was well worth investing in that. So then I could sleep and then things seemed to kind of mend themselves from there. So again, I don't know how much of it has got to do with the pill. I don't know if part of my cycle is going to naturally be that much more anxiety ridden, or if it was down to the time of year that I was in during 2020, and would my anxiety have been like that pill or no pill? I won't know until we go through another few months of this cycle. That was one of the changes, was my anxiety, but it seems to have dropped off now, which means I am continuing on this journey. And the only other thing that I've had is pretty bad breakouts. Could be down to a few things. Obviously, coming off the pill is going to have changed my hormone production. I was taking it, this specific one, because of my acne, so it makes sense that my acne would come back. It could also be that during my anxiety, a lot of my routines, like my morning and my evening routines, when I did things like take care of my skin, very quickly went to the wayside because I just wanted to be in bed. But then also I wasn't sleeping, which meant I was stressing, and it could be due to that. And the final thing that my breakout could be due to is because my Sainsbury's ran out of coconut oil. So I wasn't able to get coconut oil, and I definitely noticed when I was eating coconut oil, my skin was a lot better while I was on the pill. And so possibly it's simply that I haven't been able to feed my skin correctly, as well as not taking care of it. And that could be what's going on with the breakouts. So we're going to keep an eye on those and see how they go. That is kind of where I'm at the moment with the coming off the pill journey. And I will keep you updated in the next month or so if anything changes by then. So in a quite hilarious turn of events, or I don't know, things went forwards in a way that I wasn't expecting, given that even though I have been working so hard to balance my hormones and sort everything out, I really didn't think I was going to actually get my period very soon. I was really like, it's going to take months. This is going to end up being a really boring video of me constantly coming on and being like, well, nothing's really changed, but this was my week. As it happens, a week after that last clip, I ended up getting my period, which means I was only off the pill for 5 months before I then had my first period. I didn't record during that time. Obviously, it was pretty rough, that being the first period. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I had a bleed in April, May 2019, but I'm not 100. That wasn't really a period. I was on the pill at the time, So it definitely wasn't a full natural normal cycle. I think it was something else entirely. So this is well over a year. I mean, I actually don't remember how many periods I had whilst I was completely off it a few years ago. And I took like an 18-month break because I didn't get my doctor's sorted. So just before I was diagnosed, I'd actually been off the pill for just over a year. And I can't remember. I know I had some bleeds, like I had periods during that time. Maybe 2, definitely 1, maybe 2, could have been 3 that I just don't remember. I don't remember when either. The last time I remember having a period was December 2017. This period was pretty rough. I was exhausted. I was incredibly antisocial, definitely. I didn't want to see anybody. And as much as I wanted to document what was going on, especially even in my Instagram stories, I wanted to be like, oh, this is what's happening. You know, it is great. This has all gone to plan. I genuinely felt so... I don't know, I was internal. I wanted to be just me, and I was happy having my thoughts and feelings, and it wasn't depressive or anything like that. I just wanted just be me, not to have much to think about or talk about, and just kind of go through the week. It was a tough week at work as well. The bleed itself wasn't too heavy. I did up my iron intake a little bit just to cover myself there, and lowered the amount of exercise that I was doing. I still went on a walk every day, but it was quite short, very gentle. I needed the sleep in the mornings. There was no way, I just couldn't get up normally. So I allowed myself to not do yoga in the morning in order to allow myself time to still get ready for work rather than starting work later. And that's what I allowed myself this time. I'm very hopeful. I'm fairly certain that as this goes on and we continue with cycles, that I won't be quite so knocked out by having a period, that this was very much a new thing for my body. I didn't know what was going on. I don't think I will have to take every period as easy as that. I was incredibly fragile. I have to admit, I was very fragile. And the slightest thing would have probably made me either burst into tears or had me screaming. Like, I probably wouldn't have even bothered to go outside to scream. I'd have just screamed in the office. So yeah, I'm definitely glad that I was on my own during that time. But obviously that's not very practical for living my life. I can't actually have a week every month. I couldn't even have a week every other month where I just didn't see anybody. Under normal circumstances, like right now, that's fine, but I hope that will change. We'll have to see. The countdown's on now. I will do another update for the next one to let you know how long my cycle was. I'm obviously aiming for a 28-day cycle, but we shall see what really happens. Check out my Instagram. I will be keeping more clear track of how things are going on my Instagram stories. So be sure to follow me at Bevvy with Beth. Link in the description down below. So I'm very happy to report that everything's gone very well so far. I'll keep you updated. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5.